For this video, I'm going to focus on the elasticity calculation and your elasticity practice worksheet. It's actually a key, and so that gives you a really good tool to put into practice what these formulas actually demonstrate. So when we're calculating our price elasticity, we're always going to be taking the percentage change in quantity divided by our percentage change in price, and then we have a couple different formulas like our income elasticity, and the only thing that's different there is that we still take the percentage change in quantity at top, but in the denominator we actually take the percentage change in income. And so we'll see what that looks like in the practice in a second. But important to note that we're actually using a midpoint formula here. So it's an approximation. We're not necessarily differentiating, but we're approximating between 2 points on a linear curve. So we have essentially two pieces of information in our numerator, our first or second quantity and our first quantity, and then two pieces of information in our denominator, our second price and our first price. And both of them take the same form. It's our Q2 minus Q1 divided by, and then you'll note here, it looks similar, but it's our Q2 plus Q1, and we divide that by 2. Whenever you're putting these into a calculator, I recommend doing this piece by piece. So do the percentage change in quantity first, do this whole calculation up here first, then do this whole calculation in the denominator second, the percentage change in price, and then bring them together to actually get the elasticity. So let's take a quick look at what that looks like in our example here. And this will be helpful. You'll have a question on your exam that is just like this table, but with easier numbers actually. So make sure that we're working through this practice in order to build up that skill. So we have this table, and it tells us this price, and we have our incomes at certain levels for this good, and then it gives us our corresponding quantities. So down here we have our different prices, and we have two different incomes. We have an income of $20,000 or an income of $30,000. At an income of $20,000, we want 3,000 shaker sets if they're $4. If they're priced higher at $5, we only want 2,400, and so forth. And then the same thing goes if our income's 30,000. So it gives us a lot of pieces of information to work with. First question here: calculate the price elasticity. So we're not doing income here. We're only looking at our price elasticity of demand when the price increases from $5 to $6 and the average tourist income is $20,000. And so this last piece of information, don't get confused by this. All this does is lock us in this column. So it's telling you where to look. So income's 20,000, that means we're looking for the quantities in this column. And so our two quantities correspond to our two prices, $5 and $6. We want a quantity of 2,400 and a quantity of 1,600. And so as a result, when we calculate that percentage change in quantity, we're taking our Q2, so the price went up from 5 to 6, and so our new quantity, or our Q2 with our new price, is 1,600 minus Q1 divided by, then we have our Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2. And then we calculate that out and we get 40%. So this is just our percentage change in quantity. Then we work through the second piece of our calculation, our percentage change in price, and we have our new price, our Q2, or sorry, our P2 here, minus our P1, divided by P1 plus P2, divided by 2, work through our calculation, and this gives us our percentage change in price. So this doesn't get us all the way there. We have to make sure that at the end we take these two calculations together, our percentage change in quantity divided by our percentage change in price, and that will give us our elasticity. So, works exactly the same when we're doing income. The only difference here is that now instead of our percentage change in price, we're going to have a percentage change in income in the bottom. Question C here does the same point. So use our midpoint method and, oh sorry, this should actually correspond, and I'll fix this for your shaker set. But let's calculate this income elasticity of demand when the price of a shaker set is $4 and income increases from $20,000 to $30,000. And so once we see that income's changing, that already signals to us that we're doing income elasticity. So we shouldn't be using price elasticity here. This time, order matters. We have to really be careful with the order here. And we can tell the order through these signifier words. Our income increases. So our new income is $30,000. Okay, so first things first, we need our numerator, which is always our percentage change in quantity. And so the price of a shaker set is $4, and our income increases from $20,000 to $30,000. So in order to get all this information, we actually have to look in our table. Income goes up from $20,000 to $30,000, and that price of $4 tells us where to look in our table, and it actually locks us in this first row. So our new quantity corresponds to our new income. Our $5,000 or 5,000 quantity corresponds to our $30,000 income, whereas we only wanted 3,000 of those shaker sets at $20,000 of income. So we're taking 5,000 minus 3,000 divided by 5,000 plus 3,000 divided by 2, and then multiplying by 100. And that's what we see here. That gives us our percentage change in quantity. And then we actually don't even really need the table for the second part because it's in the question. Our denominator is the percentage change in income, and we can tell that just from the question itself. It went from 20,000 to 30,000. Our new one, our I2 in this case, is 30,000 minus our I1, our old income, 20,000, divided by I2, or I1 plus I2 divided by 2. Then we multiply that by 100, and that gives us our percentage change. And then in order to get the elasticity again, remember, always finish it by bringing these two together. Our percentage change in quantity divided by our percentage change in income, and that will give you your income elasticity. Those will be the two to focus on for our exam. I'm actually not going to do a cross-price exam question, so you'll see a price elasticity question and you'll see an income elasticity question. Both of them will be corresponding to a table that's extremely similar to this, so we want to feel comfortable that we can navigate and read that table first. And if you have questions, just reach out. But this acts as a full key, and so make sure that you can replicate these formulas, that you feel really comfortable replicating the formulas and executing the calculations, because that's easy points on the exam. If you have any questions, reach out via email, let me know. And if not, then best of luck on your exam.